Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Vupe. Let me explain that birthday thing, right? So May in our home is full of birthdays, and it's the month of our anniversary as well. Because, you know, when you get married, the two become one. So we just take it that since that day we became one, there was the birth of a new person. And so, yeah, happy birthday to us. But any excuse to celebrate. So welcome to this YouTube video, and for this one, each one of us will be giving you our 3 pearls over the last 3 years. I'm excited about this one. I blogged about it on the Wisdom and the Word Facebook page, so my 3 are already known if you already visited that page. But if you haven't, then sit tight. I'm curious to hear what Moses' 3 pearls are.
Hello, this is Moses Malaya, and I'm featuring on my wife's YouTube channel.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Malaya. So we will jump right into the video. So since you, my love, you hadn't yet said what like your 3 wisdom pearls would be. I mean, like, there's a lot of things we have learned being married 3 years, but if you could only pick 3, what would number 1 be? So I'm thinking what we could do is you say one, I say one, you say one, I say one, you say one, I say one. Why does that feel like I've said it a lot? Anyway, like that, that's what I mean.
All right.
So you go first.
Okay, my number 1 is I think what I've learned the most in this relationship called marriage is that you have to be patient. Mm-hmm. And, you know, patience is not just the ability to wait, but also the ability to have a good attitude towards waiting. And I think when I did that, I found that marriage is a beautiful thing, and I'm here to share with you that you can do it if you put God first and if you're patient with yourself and also with your partner. Over to you, love.
I like that. I really do. So my first one, because obviously I had a little bit of time to think about it, would be wisdom is understanding that a 3-fold cord is not easily broken, but it is not impossible to break. Does that make sense? So you know how in you know how Solomon wrote in the wisdom books where he says a 3-fold cord is not easily broken, and it's usually used as a metaphor for marriage, the husband, the wife, and God, saying that it's not easily broken.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it cannot be broken.
Yeah.
Right? But so for a 3-fold cord to stay intact, we have to do something about it. Right? So I feel like marriage takes a deliberate effort, like you have said, putting God first, being patient, setting good boundaries, and just remembering that God instituted marriage and that it has an enemy, and this enemy is the devil, and the devil is not sleeping. And there's one pastor who said something that I really like. She said, don't treat the devil like a nuisance, because he's not playing with you. And I feel like there are a lot of things that can be a real enemy in marriage. Relatives, friends, work when not handled properly, children or the lack of them can also be a problem. So it's understanding that it's you and me versus the devil rather than you versus me. So a 3-fold cord is not easily broken, but it's not impossible to break. So if you're not doing what is required to keep the cord strong, it can break. That was my number 1. Over to you, love.
My second one is perseverance. And in perseverance,
you're suffering, eh? Patience, perseverance.
I've just learned that when you go through life, it's not always rosy, and so you have to persevere in 1 or 2 things. And so with these 3 years I've been in marriage, I've also learned that it is possible to persevere even though you are discouraged, even though you are like tempted and things like that. So I think perseverance is another thing which I can bring out as to be on my number 2.
My number 2 would be, what was my number 2?
I don't know.
I forget. What's my number 2? Don't sweat the small stuff.
Okay.
It means that no matter what, because we're so different, we're going to offend each other.
Yeah.
All right. So it's learning to overlook small things and showing grace. You know how there's these Bible scriptures that we don't usually apply directly to marriage, like do unto others as you would want them to do unto you.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, you offend me, it's learning to put myself in your shoes and saying, if I did that to Moses, how would I want him to react? You understand? And I think that it's important to treat marriage like a dance rather than like you are in trial all the time. Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? It's not a nice thing to come home and feel that way, but rather it's better when it's like a dance, right? When we're dancing, we're facing each other. We may step on each other's toes.
Yeah.
But if we just give it a chance and keep moving, we keep moving forward and we perfect the art of it. And I just think that's how marriage is. There's certain things that are small steps that we don't really need to blow out of proportion. And I think that has helped me in dealing with some of that. Your number 3, babe.
Okay. My final one and my number 3 is prayer. It's not on number 3
because
on my
it's
list
the least
because
important.
it's the least, but it's just my number 3 because it is my most important thing.
I see what you did there, like
And
the
so,
3 P's: patience, perseverance, and prayer. How cool is that?
So basically, I'm orthodox like that. I'm not complicated. So those are my 3 pearls, as my wife had put it. So my number
like
3
that.
is prayer.
Pearls and 3
You know, for us, prayer has been something which we have practiced, has been something which we have adhered to, just to constantly be in the presence of God and remembering that is the one who has made us, and also remembering that is the one who has even made us to be here together as one. So on this our anniversary, I wish to put prayer as our number 1 pearl, and there is nothing else which can surpass prayer because it's the only way we can communicate to God directly.
I really like that. I think it's one of my favorite qualities about you, that you're simple. So my last one is actually like a 1 in 3. Laugh, talk, communicate. That's like my last point. Like laugh, talk, communicate, because marriage is so everyday.
Yeah.
I think, take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the greatest pieces of advice I would give, and like a pearl that has worked for me in this institution, because sometimes we get caught up wanting to attain the perfect picture. These are the investments we want to make. This is the kind of family life that we want, and sometimes we're falling short and we start attacking each other, but just learning to take one day at a time. Like I liked what we did at dinner today when we sat down and said, okay, look, what worked in the past?
Yeah.
And what do we want to do going forward?
Yeah.
And we set out just
to improve on.
Exactly. And we set out a few things that we want to do, but it's one day at a time. Will we do them 100%? I don't know. But I hope that we will talk and eat and laugh and just take one day at a time, because marriage is so every day.
Yeah, marriage is that all every day, and one day at a time is the way to go.
One day at a time. The Bible says each day has enough trouble of its own.
Yeah.
That is so true. Like every day, like the car just broke down.
Yeah, and we had to walk.
We walked to dinner.
And here we are back
and here
home.
we are walking to date night, because we said, okay, it's date night, anniversary night, but because our car is broken. And we could have been bummed out about the car, but we're not. We're grateful and we're happy. So those are our 6 pearls, 3 from each one. Thank you for joining me, honey.
Bye.
Bye.